how, what will we do for the protection of our language? And that, even if it comes to taking up arms, we're willing to take up arms for the sake of our language. And I think that is something that is such a important understanding of how we look at language, because it's not just politicians, it's not just someone making policy, but I think it's really a life and blood struggle. And at the in the post 2009 phase, and I also saw in Tamil Nadu once again this movement being taken up by the Liberation Panthers or Viduthalai Chirutaigal. So what happened was, there was this idea of how do you reject Hindutva, or how do you reject Sanskritization largely, and there was a mass movement of people taking up Tamil names. Somebody was called Ramasamy, and then his name is changed to Tolkapian, which was so people were actually renouncing names which held Sanskritic references and going back to pure Tamil names. And I felt that that was also part of, and this was done by a party largely seen as a Dalit-led party or an anti-caste Dalit party. And what was the reason was again to articulate that within Tamil it's possible to find a space that's against hegemony, a space that makes us equal, and an egalitarian understanding where we are united by language as opposed to divided by caste. And did it work? I don't think so. But was it a symbol of resistance? Yes, it was. Having said this, I want to talk a little bit about my work as a translator, because and I finish on this. I translated the Tirukkural, at least the love poetry of the Tirukkural, into English, and I discovered that in 2000 years, a classical text did not have a female translator or a women translator. And this is very interesting because obviously the example that I just told you was that women are willing to die for language, but are women allowed to translate the classical text? Does the space exist within discourse, within elite discourse, within important discourse, for women to come and say, no, this is what I think about language, this is what I think about the classics? Because I think that's become like such a male-dominated field that for women to make inroads into that costs us so much, and it becomes a struggle. Like, why in 2000 years? See, and this is also very interesting because half of the 250 couplets of the Tirukkural, half of the 250 kurals, more than half, are about women, are about how she looks, how she's terror, how men fall for her, how they miss her, how she's fighting. So everything is about the Tamil women. The Tamil women exist inside the text. She does not exist as a commentator of the text. She does not exist as a translator of the text, and to take up that space and to say, no, the Tamil woman is not going to be trapped within the text, but she's going to talk about the text. She's going to be a philosopher of love. She's going to be a scholar of love. She's going to be a scholar of this language. And I think it's so important for us as women to also take up that space, because that space is not easily granted. It's a space you negotiate. It's a space you take up. Having said that, why do I go back to the Tirukkural? Because there is Sangam poetry, there's a lot of other things that are going on in Tamil. I think Tamil also has to be, and I think every language will have to find what it is, but Tamil is essentially a political project. And it's not a political project that ends with the DMK, or in some way only the DMK claims the rights to it. It's a political project that extends far beyond any one party. It's a political project that belongs to anti-caste movements. It's a political project that belongs to feminists. It's a political project that belongs to liberation struggles. Just because they don't exist today, or just because their voices have been silenced, doesn't mean that Tamil is not a political project. And why is it a political project? At least for me as a translator, there's something that I observe when I start with the Quran. I'm going to finish on this point. Is that what are we often, we are here today, but there's something that is uniting us, which is to understand that the imposition of Hindi, or the imposition of any language or any culture, why do we resist it? And it's not just a resistance to a language, but also what is the whole download that comes with the language? Part of the download is that you have to accept the caste system. You have to accept this graded hierarchy. You have to accept that some people are at the top and some people are at the bottom. And the second thing, and this is the embedded part of the download, is that women are, if they're not oppressed, at least they're controlled. So this control of women is also part of this download project of whatever language they want to impose, whatever culture they want to impose. And here I think that Tamil, and especially the Tirukkural, Periyar was, in spite of all his work, in spite of everybody says, he called Tamil barbaric, he called Tamil this and this. But Periyar actually held meetings or conferences only on the Tirukkural around the country, and he said, this is my answer to Varnashrama, this is my answer to Hindu imposition, Hindi imposition. And there's two things in the Tirukkural that really stand out for me. One, of course, has been appropriated by Vijay. Unfortunately, is the part that says Pirapokkum Ella Uyirkum, which is that, all lives are the same by birth, which runs contrary to Manusmriti, runs contrary to a lot of these ideas that people are by birth, stratified, or there is hierarchy in birth. To believe that there is no hierarchy is a very important point. And the second thing is that you read the Manusmriti, or you read a lot of these North Indian texts, and there's this idea that women have to be suspected, that women have to be controlled, that women cannot be trusted with their fathers, with their brothers, with their sisters, daughters, with their sons or their father-in-laws, whatever, saying that it's in the nature of women to be fickle, it's in the nature of women to do this and that. So the idea of how women are controlled in these texts. And then you go to the Tirukkural, and the Tirukkural is exactly, diametrically opposite to it. So it says, Sireikakkam Kappu Evan Seyyum Magalar Niraikakkam Kappe Thalai, which is, what is the point of, putting a prison on a woman? It's only for the women to control herself. And I think this exact idea that, female autonomy, female independence lies in actually letting her choose, in letting her have control. I think that is so fundamentally different from what, the right wing and the fascists want us to follow. So for these two reasons, I find that, it's a very interesting, important political project that we take up, our mother tongues, or especially in the South, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and also the other languages, Tulu, the Adivasi languages, and use them as sites of memory, sites of resistance, and also archival sites where we remember the history of what we fought for and what we fought against. So thank you so much.
ఎస్ మీనా కందస్వామి గారు తమిళనాడులో జరిగినటువంటి లాంగ్వేజ్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ మూమెంట్ కానీ నేషనలిజం మూమెంట్ కానీ షీ ప్రజెంటెడ్ వెరీ ఎలాబరేట్లీ. అండ్ ఈ ముగ్గురు మాట్లాడిన తర్వాత యాజ్ వి ఎక్స్పెక్టెడ్ మేము ప్రకాష్ రాజ్ గారిని దీనికి ఒక టోన్ తీసుకురావడానికి, ఒక స్పార్క్ తీసుకురావడానికి, బికాస్ హీస్ ఆల్వేస్ దాన్ని ఇది చేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి ఒక నేషనల్ కాంటెక్స్ట్లో ఈ కన్వర్జేషన్ని ఓపెన్ చేయడానికి వి ఇన్వైటెడ్ ప్రకాష్ రాజ్ గారు. ఆయన తన స్పీచ్లో చాలా క్లియర్గా దాన్ని సెట్ చేశారు. రెండవది శ్రీనివాస్ గారు. అండ్ చాలామంది అనుకుంటారు మా అకాడమిషియన్స్ లాంగ్వేజ్ వేరుంటుంది, జర్నలిస్టుల లాంగ్వేజ్ వేరుంటుందని. ఇవాళ శ్రీనివాస్ గారు ఇచ్చినటువంటి కీనోట్ ఇస్ మోర్ దెన్ ఒక అకాడమిక్ ఇదే కాకుండా వెరీ హైలీ థాట్ ప్రొవోకింగ్ అండ్ దీన్ని తీసుకొచ్చినారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. అండ్ మీనా గారు, లాంగ్వేజ్, ఐడెంటిటీ అండ్ పాలిటిక్స్ అండ్ హౌ పొలిటికల్ స్పేసెస్ అండ్ పొలిటికల్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఈజ్ రిక్వైర్డ్, దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ దాన్ని కూడా పర్ఫెక్ట్గా ఫుల్ఫిల్ చేశారు. ఈ సెమినార్ డే లాంగ్ ఉంటుంది ఇవాళ. అండ్ మెనీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఆర్ హియర్, పర్టికులర్లీ పార్థసారథి గారు ఫ్రమ్ ఇఫ్లూ, తారకేశ్వర్ గారు, అండ్ రాములు, ప్రొఫెసర్ పిల్లలమర్రి రాములు గారు, అండ్ సతీష్ టెపకరే, సతీష్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో హియర్. అండ్ మిగతా చాలామంది, శ్రీనివాస్, జలకర శ్రీనివాస్, అండ్ అందరూ వచ్చారు. లంచ్ ఉంటుంది పిల్లలందరికీ, మిగతా పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ అందరికీ. దాని తర్వాత కూడా మళ్ళీ సెషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. సార్, దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఈజ్ డివైడెడ్ ఇంటూ 4 different sessions. After this, again, there are going to be, several other ఇది. నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్లో వి నిత్యానందరావు ఈజ్ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్, సురవరం ప్రతాప్ రెడ్డి తెలుగు యూనివర్సిటీ. హీ ఈజ్ ప్రిసైడింగ్ దట్ సెషన్. అండ్ దేర్ ప్రొఫెసర్ పార్థసారథి ఈజ్, I should not say Tamil Nadu, but he is of course a proud Tamilian. And C.V. Venkateshwarlu is from Telugu. And Venugopal also will come. And Jilkara Srinivas also will be there in the same session. And next దాంట్లో మళ్ళీ K. Satyanarayan, మిస్ అయినా, ఓకే, యా, అరవింద్ వారియర్ అండ్ తారకేశ్వర్ గారు. తారకేశ్వర్ ఆల్సో ఈజ్ హియర్. అండ్ వెరీ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్లీ, ట్వీట్లో ఇది చేస్తుంటే సంబడి ఆస్క్ దట్ క్రూక్ ఆర్ గ్రూక్ వాట్ ఎవర్, గ్రాక్, who are the speakers and what is their background. I mean, it narrated every speaker and ముందు ఎవడైతే కామెంట్ చేసినాడో దానికి సరిపోయేటట్టునే ఆన్సర్ ఇచ్చింది. సో దట్ ఐ ఫెల్ట్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ అ గ్రేట్ ఐడియాలజికల్ ఫోరం. ఎస్, వీ నీడ్ దట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఐడియాలజికల్ ఫోరమ్స్ టు ప్రపోజ్ న్యూ థింగ్స్ అండ్ ప్రొటెక్ట్ అవర్ ఓన్ ఓల్డ్ ఐడెంటిటీస్. సో ఈ 3 సెషన్స్లో అందరూ కూడా రాములు నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్లో రాములు దాన్ని ప్రిసైడ్ చేస్తున్నారు. లాస్ట్ సెషన్లో అవర్ సూర్య ధనంజయ్, చాకలేలమ్మ, తెలంగాణ ఉమెన్ యూనివర్సిటీ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ ఆల్సో is will come here. So with these words, I think we are strictly adhered to our time and schedules. It is 12. There will be a break. Yeah, now we'll felicitate our guests. They are rare guests, so we want to have a rare kind of felicitation.
అందరూ డాక్టర్స్, నేను ఒకటే పేషెంట్.
Yeah.